Last time on Lawful Stupid.
We take a trip to Eurie.
Yes, and we find civilization at last.
Well, first we made a stop at Village 3. I don't know what that name, maybe it's Dwarvish, but...
I wonder if they want us to ask if there are more villages besides Village 3.
I could assume there's at least 2 more.
But then we make it to Eurie, and we get past the gates with, like, surprisingly no problem.
Relative ease.
The gates are gigantic, and they're beautiful and nicer than anything I've ever seen.
And we met an architect, but not the kind you think.
Her name was Jessie.
I wish that I was Jessie.
She was math magical.
She was math magical. I agree.
She's an Indian giver, also.
She's a math magician.
Oh, don't! Why do you
That's.
Yeah.
She gave me a lamp and then took it.
No, right. You gave it back. You gave it back.
Oh, she offered to sell it to you. To be fair, you decided you didn't want it.
Devin, do you know why that term is offensive?
Please tell me you know.
Oh no, we can't do it. Nope, this is gonna get worse. So we're just gonna move on. And the climax of the last episode was...
we ran into Winston at the gate. He's an old robed man, and he is being a real McJerkface. And we have an imposter, Ambassador Shear, that arrives and asks us what the heck we're doing in Eurie.
Or a real impossible Shear. Like, we don't know which one might...
Yeah, the one we could have seen could have been the imposter. Or she could be some sort of shapeshifter, and magic exists, and I'm confused.
Yeah. We'll have to see on this episode.
Lawful Stupid.
And she says, "What business do you have with me?"
My lady, and I bow way more exaggerated than should be. Like I put on, the Ritz. Airs. I put on airs and the Ritz, and I go, my lady, I'm so sorry to have disturbed you, but we actually have no business with you.
You asked for Ambassador Shear, yes?
No, we asked for the consul.
You asked for the consul of Oxbane, which would be me, Ambassador Shear. Or technically, Ambassador is not even my title. I'm Consul Shear.
That is news to me, my lady.
I apologize. Is there something I can do for you in regards to Oxbane? They are under my watch.
I regrettably inform you, my lady, that we are not in a position to divulge any nature of our business with you.
That is unfortunate. Okay. How can I help with Oxbane then?
We will need to speak to your hire. I know it's troubling, and it seems a trifle.
This is quite frustrating. All right, well, guards, and she motions to them, and she looks at you, goes, "Do you have gems, all of you?"
I do not have a gem, my lady.
And you hear Winston go, "That's because he didn't." Winston, give him a gem. And he hands you a gem, and it attaches itself to you.
I must regrettably refuse.
And she looks at you and says, "I'm not sure what you and Winston have together, but if you would like to meet my upper, you will have a gem and a guard. There is no way around that."
My lady, I must respectfully decline.
Then you have no business inside the center ring. I apologize. I'm not sure why you're here or who gave you the information that you think you have. If you do not want to speak to me about my region, and you want to speak to the person who is above me, you will have to abide by our rules.
I walk past her.
Oh, you don't. The guards stop you.
Yeah, I kind of figured they would. I expect like 2 spears to come out, shing shing. They like an X.
It's not even like that passive. They step forward, shields ready.
I turn to the nearest guard and I simply say, "You're on the wrong side of history." Individuals of a very high station are going to hear about this, and you don't want to be in the position you're in, please, I am begging you, I am coming to you on my knees. Do not make this mistake.
And the council sees that the situation is getting heated, and she takes a few steps back, and she says, "You are quite educated, and I am quite impressed with the way you speak. But this is not your town, sir. Please do not make a fuss. I would love to sort out whatever troubles you have, but it won't be done the way you're attempting to do it."
My lady, I will make every concession that is possible. I will turn over any weapons that I have on my person. I will be under any escort that you will, but I cannot allow that gem on my person.
Christoph, let me talk. Would you mind if I talk to my comrade for a moment? Boys, huddle.
Of course. And she motions for you to step back away from the guards when she says that.
Of course.
Okay. And as you do that, they kind of relax. They're still in like a very guard-like stance, but they're not nearly as like shield forward, sword ready. But their swords are out.
Hey, what's the play here?
Yeah, so I'm just saying, hear me out. I think if you wanted to stay here, it's obvious they're not going to let. I mean, Rowan and I could go in, but to be honest, I don't have a grasp on the situation. We already heard me talk to somebody and almost got us kicked out. I don't know if it's wise for me to go in there. So if we're going to get this thing done, Rowan, don't you suggest you just should do it? I know you don't want to, but
I'm always a fan of you living your truth. But also the truth is, if you don't go, it's left to us. And
first, gentlemen, I can't accept that gem. It does clash so horrendously with my outfit. I don't think you guys understand the import here.
You know it'll be overshadowed by your smile. You don't have to worry about it.
But I don't have a reason to smile right now, Rowan.
Have you seen yourself? You always have a reason to smile.
And beyond that, it just gives me the heaves. It just, like, you know how I get magic tingles? I also get bad juju tingles, and they're all over those crystals. I didn't want to tell you guys earlier because they're already embedded in your hands, but they are not good news.
I want to point out, they're not embedded like in your skin. They're just like almost like a sticky type gem, like a bedazzle thing where it just sticks on top of your skin. It doesn't feel fused with your skin. Just
even more gaudy. It's even worse. It's like rhinestones.
Exactly.
Oh God.
You have to do this in order for us to
Well, you
complete
just pull
mission.
your sleeve over it and no one will notice.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think there will be deep ramifications for accepting the stone.
Oh, assuredly.
It's not a good thing.
Is it a risk? You were talking about willing to do anything to get what you needed done. And it's clashing with your outfit. Really a thing that's going to stand in the way of getting done the things that you profess to?
Yeah, it sounds pretty dumb to me, if I'm honest.
I'm going to do it. Not for me. Not for this. Frankly, I think it's an imposter ambassador. But for the people of Oxbane, so that I can accomplish my mission, and for you, my dear friends, not send you into the lion's nest, I'm going to do this.
Here.
Hey, don't worry, and then we'll just go kill that guy, and then your friend can become the
Well, I don't know about
maybe
that
not.
either, but
No, the guy we were going to dethrone. We'll do that too. The people of Oxbane, it's for them.
Oh, okay, I'm on board with that.
I'm going to turn.
I put my hand in.
I put my gem hand in.
Your what hand?
The one with the gem on it.
Okay.
Come on.
I put, like, reluctantly, like, one finger and then the whole hand.
The boys on three. 1, 2, 3.
The boys.
And the guards, you can see their eyebrows kind of raise, and Winston goes, "What on? Are they casting a?" And you hear the council go, "No, Winston, that's not a spell."
We've got our own guild of friendship.
The friendship guild.
Companions.
Quite
Holy
impressive.
God,
But, boys, where does that leave us?
I will accept your trinket.
Excellent, Winston. And Winston begrudgingly approaches you and hands you the gem.
I accept it and I put it boldly on my forehead.
It spins and slides back down to your wrist.
And I wear it there.
And he watches as you do that, and it looks back at the council, and she just kind of gives a very passive, very kind shrug, okay, you do you. And the two guards that you semi-threatened, and the two extra guards that came, they form a kind of perimeter around you. The two in the front, two in the back. And she goes, now that we have that solved, shall we?
I want it to be said that as we walk under this guard, under duress, with this gem, into the heart of darkness, I have never stood taller. I have never walked more proud. It's as though every step I take, I'm stepping on individual squares that belong solely to me.
Okay, yeah, you do that. You look fancy as fuck. So you go through
You look fancy as fuck, bro.
this next gate, and as you do so, the council kind of comes from the lead and comes to the right of the group, in parallel with you, Kristoff, and she looks at you and says, "Kingdom of Silence, right?"
Formally.
Yes, that adds up. You're Kristoff, yes?
I'm Kristoff Shindo.
I can see, and she kind of motions towards your eyes.
Yes.
And she says, words travel.
Many folk are wary of serpents.
And she leans into you and goes, and many other folk know exactly what happened in the Kingdom of Silence. And then she keeps walking towards the councils. As you guys come into the center ring, it is so nice. It is government district. It is the wealthiest of all of Eurie, and it is gold trimmed crystals. You feel so at home. Yeah, this is the world.
Civilization. I'm home.
You said that every time we hit a new ring.
It's for real this time.
And it's much nicer. There's marble railways. It's all types of extravagance. And she leads you to the council's office. And as you walk in this place, there are papers everywhere. And there's stacks of papers. There's messy papers. There's organized stacks. And there's about half a dozen people in here. There's a couple gnomes. And there's 3 other people in the same type of garb she is. And when she walks in, they all kind of look and see the guards. And they say, Counsel Shear, or one of them says, Counsel Shear, what's the meaning of this? And she responds and says, well, these people want to speak to my upper. And as you guys know, that doesn't quite exist since we govern each other. So I thought I would bring him here and let them talk with you. I don't know what they want. They won't tell me. I don't understand. They want to know about Oxbane, which is mine, but okay, here you go. And she motions to the other 3 council. And she motions to one, and she says, this is Counsel Welton. And you see a dwarf. And this dwarf is female. She's of average height. She has a very thick braided beard, and her purple robe has metal plates attached to it and hanging off of it. And this Counsel Welton says, it's nice to meet you. I'm the Counsel of the North. And
I do an appropriately low bow, and I'm Kristoff Shindo. Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, I'm sure. And Counsel Shear motions to the next council person, and she says, this is Counsel Ironback. And this is a human, and He is about middle-aged. He's silver hair. He's leaning on a cane, and he's missing the lower half of his right leg. And you can tell that because you can see a wooden foot under the robe. And he says, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I govern the west region of Orenthal."
I bow to the appropriate level and I say, "I'm Christoph Shetto. It is a pleasure to meet you, Counsel."
And he doesn't bow, but he kind of gives you like a forward lean. It leans against his cane. She says, "And the last of my peers is Counsel Silverstone, who's another human, but he's much younger. He's clean cut. He's not wearing the same purple robes that they're wearing. He's wearing finer, tighter fitting cloth. And his hair slicked back and his beard is short and trimmed really properly." And he says, "Pleasure to meet you. Why have you come to our town?"
Can I very quickly roll history on any of these guys to know if I know their deal?
You absolutely can. I'm going to let you roll a 1 history check against all 3.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Okay, so you have definitely, you have heard of all of them. All of those names sound right. You have never seen them before. You know that Silverstone is a really young counsel for his age, and he has risen rapidly in the political scene of all of Goron. He has made many, many diplomatic missions, and you even remember him visiting Silence when you were a boy, and he was much younger then, but you definitely are familiar with him, though you've never seen any of these people before.
Very good. I'm going to say, consuls, we've come with urgent matter, which, much to my embarrassment and displeasure, we cannot share with your fellow consul, Ambassador Shear.
And the dwarf female says, "I have just introduced 3 characters, and I'm going to try to keep all of their character voices separate, so I just pre-apologize."
#bless.
Yeah. She says, and why can't you say this in front of Ambassador Shear?" And she rubs her braids. Or not Ambassador Shear, Consul Shear, excuse me.
Even to reveal the very nature of why I cannot, Ambassador Shear would inform the matter, I'm afraid.
And Consul Silverstone puts his hand to his chin and says, "Well, that's quite the predicament, then."
Yes, sir.
"But we pay respects to the council, and anything you can say in front of her, even if you..." And he like stares at you, like almost like he's staring like through you, and he says, "Even if you're to say something negative of her, there's guards, there's us."
Great, sir. I mean no disrespect. I mean not to be a whisperer or some sort of master of secrets, a spy master, anything like that. I simply have made an oath to a fellow lord that I would not speak of it to her, and as such, I remissly cannot speak of it in front of her. I speak freely to you fellow consuls, and you are bound by no oaths of secrecy. If you wish to relay after what we have said is spoken to Consul Shear, that would not violate my vow, nor the trust of my lord.
And you see Counsel Ironback exchange a glance with Counsel Shear, and you see her get visibly frustrated, and she says, "Fine. This is quite annoying, and I frankly just want this over. Do what you will." And she walks out the door very, 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 very frustrated.
I thank you for your understanding, lady.
And she gives you like a back of the hand wave as she graces or exits the door. And Ironback says, "So what's of it then? Time is money."
Consuls, before I hand the missive of my lord over, I believe some context is in order, and I produce the memory stone.
And you see the vision that comes forward. You see the elf with auburn hair there with Lady Trestle sitting there, and they're talking. And you notice all the council members go, and they.
Oh, that's a reaction.
All at once they say, "What?" Or they all at once they say, "Linda." And you see Ironback, he just starts laughing. And as the vision ends, he says, That's not Ambassador Shear. That's Linda.
I've gathered as much, my lord.
So she has gone to Oxbane and posed herself as an ambassador, then?
Even the Magister recognizes her as Ambassador Shear.
He's never met Counsel Shear. That's Linda Shear, Counsel Shear's cousin. She pushes paper in this office.
She's pushing a lot more, not just in this office.
And you see Counsel Welton like cover her mouth and look down, like trying to stifle laughter. And Silverstone hates everything about that joke. And Ironback says, "So, what do you think?" Or excuse me. So, what do you think is going on here then?
To my understanding, my lord, I would think that this Linda Shear has become an imposter of the ambassador, the consul. She has presented herself as such an Oxbane and deceived both the lord and Lady Trestle. She conspires with Lady Trestle to depose, potentially kill or maim Magister Shear. And it would be better for you to see it with my lord's own hand, and I hand over the missive.
And so he looks it over and reads it and says, "Oh, that town is getting quite the headache for Counsel Shear. I suppose it's about time for her to make another visit."
Yes, so that perhaps the Magister of the town would recognize her upon sight would be helpful.
I don't think you're getting what's going on here. Counsel Shear has not visited Oxbane before.
Yes, my lord, I've gathered.
This is quite annoying. You just try to govern some places, and then everyone wants to scramble for power, and children. And he looks at you, and then looks at the guard and says, "Go get Counsel Shear. This is ridiculous." And so the guard does that and brings back Counsel Shear. And for a minute, Ironback explains that Linda Shear has represented herself as an ambassador or the council, and Shear starts laughing, that kind of manic laughter of someone just really frustrated with the situation. And she says, "I'm going to kill that little twerp." And ooh. Silverstone looks at her, and Counsel Shear says, "I wouldn't actually kill her. I would have someone do it for me. I would have her locked up, Silverstone. Relax." And Ironback says, "Well, this sure made my day quite more interesting than I thought. Okay, so what do you want to do now, boys?" And Ironback looks at you guys.
My obligation is complete.
Oh, they said there would be some kind of reward for solving this mystery.
I feel like if that was a lie.
You want to roll a deception check?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I actually have anything towards that, but it's a 15.
And Ironback looks at you and goes, "I'm sure you are mistaken. We have no agreement to hand you anything. If anything, you've done your civic duty as a member of Orenthal. But
that's good enough. That's good enough.
Good. Happy to hear it, Orc. What did you say your name was?
Oh, my name is Atlas Faria.
Wouldn't happen to know Henry, would you?
What's it to you?
Just a wonderful man. I knew him long ago.
He's my father, actually.
Oh, he kind of gives you a look.
My adopted father.
Oh, that
obviously.
makes more sense. Yes.
That's how we met. We saved his mom.
It's true.
Oh, is everything all right? Is Teresa okay?
Oh, she is a peach. She's wonderful.
Still making
cooking?
such one. Yes, awesome.
Yes, still cooking.
I need to
Yes,
go
the
visit.
peppers.
Yeah.
Peppers, the hot peppers.
You
are
didn't
so
happen
good.
to
Red Hot
bring any.
No, we should. I haven't
Actually-
been by in a while.
Actually, I still have like 3 in my bag.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have survived the journey.
Yeah, then
it's
I
been a
get
long
it.
time.
They're
Roman.
not good, but they're still there.
But probably for the best I don't eat those. I will.
But how do you know my father?
Yeah, you know your father has quite the reputation as a blacksmith. Yes.
Yeah, I do. I know he's taught me everything he knows.
He takes his
yes.
cane and he twists it, and he slowly pulls up a blade. And it's like beautiful, beautiful blade, and sets it back down and twists it back.
Wait a second. Was that blade sharp on both sides?
It was.
I thought Henry only made decorative weapons.
So did I.
And he says, It is mostly decorated. And he like kind of lifts it up, and you can see he's kind of struggling with it.
Well, that's very interesting. It is a small world.
Yeah, smaller than you would think. Well, we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. And Counsel Shear says, oh, don't we ever. We will take care of this for sure. Will you guys be staying in town if we need anything else from you?
We should be here for a number of days. I very much wish to see what this fine civilization has to offer.
And she says, I will level with you, Kristoff. The tales of who you were much more impressive than who you appear to be. And maybe that's because we got off on the wrong foot. But I will extend an olive branch. You can stay in the guild's district. There's an inn there, and you can stay there for free, you 3, for the week. But please, do not start any trouble like you've already tried to do twice now. Do I have
My
your
lady.
word?
You have my word. I would not have taken such extreme measures if my honor had not demanded it.
I understand the perception you held, but always remember that you don't have all the answers. You
I
are
understand,
still
my lady.
quite young.
Of course, my lady, and I bow.
And the council bows to you, and Counsel Shear says, unless you have more to tell us, these guards will escort you out of the ring. And I don't believe any of you have guildsmanship. You can't be here without escorts.
My lady, I would speak to you in private on the state of Oxbane if I know you haven't visited in sudden time, and I feel I have information that you might consider valuable, if you will it.
Do you consider it of the utmost urgency, or can it wait a day?
Though it pains me to say it could wait, my lady.
Then my day is quite booked. A very, unfortunately, sticky meetings. Maybe we can meet tomorrow for lunch. There is the inn in the guild's hall, or the middle ring. Excuse me. You'll know. It's Red Roof.
Oh.
Yes, of course.
We do.
Naturally.
And she kind of motions for you guys to exit. And the other council members bow as you guys do so.
I kind of look at my compatriots like, bow time, boys.
I will-
Return the bow as best possible.
Yes, awkwardly.
I believe that. And so you guys are escorted out into the middle ring. Hey guys, it's me, Dwayne, your lovable DM. I just wanted to talk to the Lawful Stupid Army about another product spotlight we have and another cool deal we can bring you. If you haven't heard of Critical Dice, you're missing out. You can go to thecriticaldice.com and they have dice, they have shirts, they have tools, which is really cool. I personally use the no dice, which essentially the number 1 is replaced with the word no. And that way, every time I roll a crit 1, I just scream no. I bought them well before we knew they would be involved with the show at all, or even give us a coupon code to give to our listeners. And they're really nice quality dice. And actually, I don't roll as crappy with them. But no, there's no guarantee that buying these dice will make you a better D&D roller, though there also isn't a guarantee that rolling the dice will make you roll crit 1s either, so really it's 50-50 shot. They have dice towers, a do-it-yourself dice tower gift that, hey, why not? They have acrylic dice towers, they have large dice bags, and so much more. So you should absolutely go check out Critical Dice, thecriticaldice.com, and when you're checking out, just use the coupon code LAWFUL at checkout and get 20% off. Easy. We also wanted to spotlight another podcast that we listen to too. So coming up next is going to be another podcast spotlight, which we absolutely love them. So tune in.
Hey podcast listeners, do you like comedy? Well, how do you like the highbrow and tasteful comedy that ensues after an oiled up, overly muscular fantasy hero stabs mythological creatures square in the testicles by accident? My square testicles! If you do, then you'll love the Legion of Renob. The Legion of Renob is a comedic romp into the world of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, available now at legionofrenob.com and on iTunes.
What do you want to do, boys? Knowing what you know now.
I actually am a member with my background of a guild.
Let's
Not
talk
this
about
particular.
that.
So how do you? Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You took it upon yourself to create lore, which is fine. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to be an initiate of the Anvil Guild, which is essentially a smith's guild. Or you can choose one of the other guilds. You can learn about the other guilds and choose from there. That's up to you.
Okay.
You do you. I will say that if you want to join the Anvil Guild, you'll start a leg up, but not by a whole lot, because you've also not really been dealing with the guild much since you joined in the Battleborn University.
Yeah, you'll be at a PFC.
That's an army term? Does that mean something else?
Private person?
No, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, are you using an army term? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You'll be an RSD. If you don't know what that is, that's okay.
Regional sport director?
Yes. Yeah.
No, much lower than that.
Much
Yeah,
lower.
much lower than that. Okay, yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
First stop tavern, right? First stop tavern. First stop
Yeah,
tavern?
for sure.
Tavern, for sure. Hungry.
Yeah, we've had a long journey. Hungry, thirsty.
Okay, so you guys come out of there and you see the first tavern, which is the which apparently my notes, I remember writing it, but I don't know if it didn't say. But you come in across the Crimson Roof Inn, is what it's titled, but Roof Inn.
Oh, known colloquially as the Crimson Salamander.
Mm.
That's probably one of my favorite parts of this podcast, where Christoph just spins shit. One of my favorite.
It sounds good.
It does. It sounds good. I love it. It's everything about it is amazing. Okay, so yeah, you guys go into the tavern, and behind the tavern, do you remember in Devon's hometown, or Atlas's hometown, the tree folk like person that I described?
Yes.
Trent the Treant.
Essentially, there's one of those behind the bar. I'm spacing on the name.
My good man, if you could provide me, please, with your strongest alcohol mixed with your most common local fruit juice, please.
And you see him pull out a bottle with cherries on it, and I'm
just freaking out, just reaching towards the
ale.
heavens.
And he sees you doing something weird, and like starts to put the cherry juice down.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. And he mixes a really hard liquor and cherry juice and hands you a cup and says, "Of course, a couple silver for the cup, for the drink. Excuse me."
Take it.
And you see like the vines and the trees kind of sway and shake as he's talking. Did you order 3 or just 1, right?
Oh, just 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I would like
The
a
other
rainbow
boys don't
bowl.
drink like I do. Yeah.
What do you want?
A rainbow bowl.
He hands you an ale. And
So
asks
this
for
is
silver.
not a rainbow bowl.
We don't have whatever that is.
Okay, well, you
Just
should.
pour
Thank
a
you.
little bit of everything behind the bar into a bowl, and he'll be happy.
We can do that. Is that what you want?
Like
You know,
have an
yes.
ashtray.
And so he does that. He starts pouring things and hands you a bowl.
Oh, this looks delicious.
Yeah.
It is not.
It is not.
Freeze frame, record scratch.
Yep.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and you like unbeknownst to you, he pours like olive oil, like milk. Like he literally poured everything from behind the bar in this bowl. So
If it's
So
a
I'm gonna
consumable
go-
liquid.
Ugh! What is your name, sir?
excuse me, my name?
Yes, if you'd be so kind.
Oh, Trent.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Oh, Trent. I don't. Obviously, not familiar with the Rainbow Bowl, but is a typically it's a delicious non-alcoholic drink. It just sends your mind through time, if you know what I mean. It comes in a whipped variety. It contains a lot of like a jelly substances. So I don't know if you have anything like that.
We don't. Which is what
You
I
need to go to
told
the
you
Alchemist
first time.
Guild, my dog.
Yeah.
I'll just have this ale. You can take this other concoction
Well,
back.
sorry, you're gonna have to pay for both.
I can do that. You know what? You tried. That's all you can do, Trent. Thank you.
Thanks. And he takes
Trent-
the bowl back.
Lucky for you, I'm not as difficult as these gentlemen.
I appreciate that.
I will take 3 fingers of whiskey with a splash of olive juice, a little bit of lime, and just a pinch of salt in a bowl.
And he goes, I wish everyone was as simple as you.
I literally asked for strong food and fruit
So
juice.
you see him doing back in the back, and you notice he pours whiskey in one and water in the other, and turns around and hands it back to you. He goes, that's what you asked for.
This guy is the worst bartender I have ever seen.
Well, there's 2 missing ingredients. There's no lime, and there's no salt.
And
And
he
you added
puts a
water.
whole lime in there and a cube of salt.
It all splashes out. So it's just like,
You know, this will be perfect. Just add an entire bottle of whiskey into this, and it should even out.
And you hear, Trent! And a Healing barkeep comes up and goes, what are you doing back here? And you see Trent give like the goofiest tree smile. Nothing, Paul. And he like shuffles out from behind the bar and goes, I'm sorry. You guys didn't pay him, did you?
Yes, I did.
Trent!
yes.
They did. I'm still waiting on my drink, please.
What would you like?
I want 3 fingers of whiskey in a bowl, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, and a pinch of salt.
Yeah, he makes that for you, no problem. And he'll
Oh,
charge
dope.
you appropriately.
I would like a rainbow bowl.
What is that?
Well, that's what I was telling your friend, not the bartender Trent over there just a moment ago. A rainbow bowl is this delicious non-alcoholic drink that just sends your mind through time, if you know what I mean. It comes in a whipped variety,
We
usually
could
with a
give you
jelly.
cherry juice.
A deal.
He pours you a thing of cherry juice and hands it to you.
Perfect.
Just give him grenadine, sour mix, and some water, and he'll be fine.
Okay, well, welcome to Eurie, I guess.
What was your name, sir?
Paul.
Paul.
Oh. It is a pleasure to meet you, Paul. I was wondering if you could inform me about all of the guilds in alphabetical order, please.
And Paul says, I super am not gonna do that.
Please?
I have patrons to serve, but I'm sure you could just go ask one of the information kiosks.
Oh, where's the nearest one of those?
Right outside in the little stand. It said information kiosk.
I slam my drink and then go do that.
Okay.
As I walk out, I turn and go, excuse me, Paul, do you happen to have any hard biscuits for sale?
We could make you some biscuits. Do you need them to be hard?
Yes.
I just figured we have, a similar establishment back in Oxbane to this, and I just didn't know if it was a chain thing that you guys did with the hot biscuits, or if Allison is just a terrible cook.
Well, they're supposed to be fluffy like a cloud in your mouth, but if you wanted them hard, we could do that.
I've never had a biscuit like that.
I've never had a fluffy, buttery biscuit.
My mother used to make those, and then she stopped making it. My father went on the Atkins diet, and the only bread and carbohydrates I could get would be from Allison, and I don't know. I guess I forgot what a soft biscuit was like.
I apologize. That sounds terrible.
It is. All right, well, have a good day, Paul. Thank you anyways.
You too.
But, Paul, honestly, just whatever the chef special that you make for nobles, like just your fanciest food, I would like one order of that. I want an order of biscuits with ham, and then just some scrambled eggs.
And he says, I can whip that up. It'd take about 15-20 minutes if you want to come back for it.
Awesome, I'll be right back for it.
And he looks at you and goes, pay first since you're leaving. And
Oh,
he
no problem,
doubles
no
up,
problem.
Whatever.
Yeah, I throw it down.
Yeah, so he takes that and he walks back. So you guys want to go out to the information kiosk, right?
Yes.
And so there's a beautiful elven lady at the information kiosk, and and she looks at you and says, "Welcome to Eurie."
Hello there.
Well met, maiden.
Oh, hi, so kind.
What is your name and backstory?
Vanessa. Well, I was a small girl, and I lived in Eurie.
Oh, just kidding. Just thank you anyways.
All right.
I was wondering if you could tell me about all of the guilds in Eurie in alphabetical order, please.
Absolutely. You see her doing some math in her head, and she goes, "Well, there's the Arcanist Guild, and I assume you want to know what they're about, then."
Yes, please.
Well, the Arcanist Guilds, their whole mission is to seek knowledge about the relics and powerful artifacts from the arcane wars, and they spend their time trying to learn as much as they can about what happened. As you know, I'm sure, the story is hit or miss, depending on where you... Damn, I just took her into a male's voice. The story is hit or miss, depending on where you are and how accurate the information can be, and they are trying to retell that story and make sure it's true.
Yes, they have nothing to teach me next.
Yeah, our friend here knows everything about who's there?
Oh, well, they might be interested in talking to you.
They can find me in my quarters. Next, please.
Then there's the Anvil Guild. They craft some of the finest weapon and armor. They are quite impressive. Most of our guards have their weapons and armors crafted by someone from the Anvil Guild. Quite a reclusive bunch.
What do they know of torrential forging?
Well, the Anvil Guild here doesn't know a lot, but some of the initiates have trained in Oxbane and have come back, and that's really localized to Oxbane, I think. But
I see.
Honestly not much for the... But I know there's other areas that have special forging techniques too. And next you have the Archaeologist Guild. They're the explorers of the bunch. They are the people who go into tombs and they go dungeon diving, and they're really just trying to find out everything about the world.
I see.
And then you have the Guild of the Red Sun. Their whole purpose is to fight evil and restore balance and justice to the world. They were formed. I'm sure you know, since you know about the Arcane Wars. They were formed shortly after.
Yes, to restore balance and order after the chaos that was caused by the Arcane War.
Yes.
I told you.
Oh, quite impressive.
Thank you.
And then, of course, you have. Then you have Guild of Norloth.
Well, could you say that again, slower?
Gunzunheit.
Yeah, bless you.
Norloth.
Gods bless you.
Quite a friendly bunch. They focus on the power of flame.
Guild of Noah.
Norloth.
I have some like frost accumulate on my hand, and I'm like, neat.
And what did they do again?
They focus
Fire?
on the power of flame. They're very into the fire.
Hmm.
I'm making
Bunch of
snow
hotheads.
angels. I'm making snow angels while this conversation's happening.
Okay. And she says, well, then of course there's the Guild of the Nokor. I'm sure you've seen them in their black armor, and you know they're quite powerful.
Commonly known as Death Knights. Yes, I'm familiar.
That's a new one to me, but I maybe from where you're from.
So what is their specialty? The Guild of Nakor.
They're the morticians of Eurie, and wherever they're stationed, they take care of the dead for us.
That's why we call them Death Knights.
It's grim.
You're interesting. Regional differences are quite crazy. And then there's the Tor Guild. I'm sure you know they're some of the most famous mercenaries in the world.
Yes, Blades for Hire.
They are quite impressive. And then there's the Architects, the Guild of Architects.
We've met Jessie.
I don't know her.
She's one of the most premier up-and-coming architects there are.
Oh, well, good for Jessie.
Yeah, she's doing all right for herself.
Okay, well, it sounds like you know what that guild's about. I will move on.
You could tell me. Give me your spiel anyway. I'm sure
sure.
you worked hard on it.
They give me these papers. That's not a big deal to me. They shape the worlds around us. They're the only people that, as far as we know, can use the arcane torrent. And last of the guilds is the Guild of the Hunt. They kind of just hunt big and scary monsters and bring back their bodies. It's quite impressive.
They're monster hunters.
You could say that.
Give me a gun lance, let's go.
Zora Magdaros, you need to climb on his back. Mine all his treasures. Blow up the magma cores. Use the stalactites.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Are those all the guilds that there are?
Those are the guilds in the middle ring.
Is that all the guilds there are?
Those are all, and she references the paper. These are all the information I have.
Secret guilds, I see.
Well, I think that's it, boys. Right? That we thank you, Vanessa, for your time.
Of course.
Yes. Vanessa, I'm sorry. We're nothing more than potential. I'm so sorry. And just go back in.
So much potential.
She looks at you, and she says, "Is your friend okay?
No.
Take care of him."
No. Okay. He takes good care of us.
Okay.
Take care of each other.
We're a friends guild.
Friends with a guild. We're the friends guild.
Add that to your list.
I'll write
Party
you a paper.
guilds list. Party of friendships. Party of 3.
We're not accepting new members.
No room to grow.
All right. What do you guys want to do next?
We have to go back and eat because he's
Yeah, get our grub.
Yeah. So you walk in, and Paul is.
I'm actually on a liquid diet. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check out these Architect Guild. I want to go hang out with Jesse some more.
So you guys want to go in and eat? He's going to go to
The
the
camera
architect.
pans around a dark room with a thick oak table in the center. As the camera pans around, we see 4 hooded figures, their faces obscured from our view. And one of them, the larger of the 4, says, "They're here." And one of the smaller of the figures to his left says, "Yes, they're in the city." And then one more figure says, "What should we do with them then?" And the last figure, who has not spoken, stands up and says, "Leave them to me." And the camera zooms out, the figures disappearing.
Alright, cool. So you guys go back in, and this beautiful spread of biscuits and ham and plates of butter, and there's a big juicy steak in the middle, and there's a bunch of potatoes cut up, and Paul goes, "Here's your food," and references to a table.
You're so nice. Atlas, come here. I got us some breakfast.
I mean,
thank you so much.
it's dinner
Every
time.
meal is breakfast. Zero.
It doesn't matter when I eat. If it's the first thing I eat, it's breakfast.
That's fair. That's fair. And okay, so you guys sit down and eat, and Christoph, you head to the Arcanist Guild. Go ahead.
Architect.
Oh, Architect Guild. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Tried to pigeonhole you there. You go to the Architects Guild, and so when you come up, you follow the signs to get there, and when you approach this Architects Guild, you notice that what the fuck's going on here?
What the fuck is going on here, Dwayne?
Shit. Oh, I see what happened.
Oh, I lost all the notes.
Well, I edited them. Anyways, we'll move on. So you noticed that the Arcanist Guild is built of marble, and there are numbers scratched in the marble, but they don't really make sense to you. And when you try to enter the doorway, you kind of hit like a force field. And when you do that, you hear like a chuckle, and you hear someone say, "Sorry." And
I roll an Arcana check immediately.
Okay, roll an Arcana check.
17.
Okay, that's pretty good. You notice that these 2 pillars, there's magical energy, connected magical energy from those 2 numbers, or from those sets of numbers on those pillars, creating, a barrier. Like, you've never seen that kind of magic before, but you can definitely discern that those 2 writings are the source of it.
I'm going to produce one of my crossbow bolts, and I'm going to scratch out one of the numbers.
You're going to take a cross. Okay. When you do that, Jesus, you're gonna take 8 points of arcane damage as you bust the spell, and you hear, "There's my notes. Fuck yes." Yeah, my mobile did not sync to my desktop very well, and I was like freaking the fuck out. And you hear, "What are you doing?" And
I walk in.
Oh, you are super greeted by a woman with rough golden hair, wearing fine. She's wearing a fine dress and glasses, and she's got this stick in her hand. And she says, she puts her hand like out in a stopping motion towards you, and says, "What do you think you're doing, sir?"
Walking in your building.
Well, you clearly damaged the barrier, so did you not get that you weren't supposed to walk in?
Yes, but I'm curious like a cat. That's why my friends call me Whiskers.
Okay, Whiskers, what can I do for you? And she's still kind of motioning for you to like keep your distance.
What's your favorite planet?
Yeah, mine's the sun because it's the king of all planets. I'd like to know about your organization.
You want to know about the Architects Guild?
Correct.
What do you want to know?
Everything that I possibly can.
So you want to join?
Maybe.
Well, we're the shapers of the world. I don't know that there's much more to it than that.
That sounds very exciting.
I'm sure we could let you apply.
I would love to.
And she kind of motions for you to enter the room.
I do.
And so you step through this gateway, and you can see just how beautiful it is. Because you can see not its physical state, because its physical state is pretty pure. It's wooden walls, stone walls, and a marble floor, but it's the magic that you can see in the air. Like, it's so thick you can see it. Like, you're walking through this aura of magic.
Oh, I love what you've done with the place.
And that's where we're going to end this episode. As you walk into the Architects Guild. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We have so many things to talk about. First and foremost, there's the website, which is amazing. There's a lot of cool content. There's going to be lore-based stuff. You can visit the team, see what we're about, and we'll update those as the podcast goes on. You can even see some short stories that we're writing, some Craigslist entries if you kind of want some comedy, and as fan art pops up. We also have a spot called the Hall of Heroes where all of our Patreon donors are put up there in this beautiful display of appreciation.
You can get to our YouTube there. You can see our DM tip videos that me and Dwayne do. There's all kinds of cool stuff on lawfulstupid.org.
Yeah, more information than you'd think, really. Like, I'm smitten by it.
And he has no ulterior motive to say that.
Yeah, no, I don't have any reason to say that whatsoever, other than pure love and joy. And appreciation for the people.
If you haven't checked out our Instagram, it's really popping off over there. We spend so much time making sure you guys have good, funny memes or behind-the-scenes content. You definitely should be following us there for sure. We need to break that 1K club, so you guys, only you can make that happen, guys.
And only you can prevent forest fires as well.
That's true.
I mean, I really think there's a lot of ways to prevent forest fires. But...
No, I think following us is the only way to prevent true forest
fires.
Yeah,
the only way to stop
disaster
is to follow us.
If you don't follow us on Instagram,
we'll start forest fires.
That only you can stop.
That's true. Okay, great. Hey, make sure you leave an iTunes review. We absolutely love those. It helps us a lot in the ranking process. We've also applied for Spotify. So that should be coming down the pipe eventually, if that's your like podcast steez of choice. Which, if it is, like, let's talk. Like, I don't get that.
There's better options.
I want to know. That's it for me. Does anybody else have anything, or are we just gonna say goodbye forever? I love you, miss you always.
Not forever, I hope.
Not forever, and I love you all very much.
Yeah, there's so much love. God, there's not even words for the love.
All of our fans that actually take the time to listen to our podcast and comment and talk to us, and I'm blown away by the support that we get from you guys, and thank you so much.
Yeah, you're more supportive than my dad ever was.
Correct. All of our dads. Cumulative. All of our dads.
I don't know. My dad's great, so... I can't.
Wayne, don't fuck this up for us right now.
Dude, it's a bit. My dad's been dead for years. Just go with it.
This will be the one episode my dad listens to. I can't do that. You know it. He'll be like, "What's this podcast that my son's attached to?" Oh, he hates
16. Me. Start out with that one.
Yep. Yeah, so, all right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. We love you.